all in the trash because I was like, God, this is cringy.
You're like, and this is the worst. So never mind.
But yeah, I mean, that's you started off with Mario Sunshine. I mean,
well, it's because I love it, and it's like a game I've played so many times. So it's like one that I know what I'm doing. So it's not like I'll be wandering around lost, like, oh God, where do I need to go?
Well, now that we've established that Justin likes bad games, I'm
still pumped about the potential remake.
Yeah, no, actually, if the remake fixes the controls, I'd be down. Like,
camera. I won't defend the camera. The camera is awful, but I still love that game.
Oh, you mean the main component of the game, the camera? Weird.
Yeah, it's not like I can say it's not a bad game, but I mean, the camera sucks so bad that it makes it like it's fucking like unplayable almost, man.
It's the let's play golf with friends of Mario games. That's what
it is. Oh yeah. That's rough, man.
That is a lot.
You're taking it a little too far. He's getting up.
Yep.
Get my hat back.
All right. So are we ready to go? Are we doing this?
Let's start this shit.
All right. Welcome back, Shannon.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to That Pixel Life. Oh, Shannon, are you recording? Sorry, before I do.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you didn't tell us you were recording. You're legally obligated to tell us you're recording.
Yeah, and if you're a cop, you have to tell me that too.
I'm not a cop.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to That Pixel Life. This is episode 94, recording May 31st, 2020, and it's finally happening. You guys, we get to talk some PS5 reveals, or at least the fact that they're talked about, they're going to have a reveal. I don't know. We'll get there. We'll cover it. We've going to talk some actual new games. New games are coming out, and we've been playing them. So we're going to talk about that, not just, the same game we've all been playing for 3 months. And we got a little more also. To do that, I have with me, as always, Mr. Shannon Moore.
Hello.
Hi. You sound morose. How you doing?
Well, I like a dumbass. I clicked update my computer right before I started. We wanted to start recording, so been dealing with that.
Well, at least we didn't have a special guest. Oh, wait.
Yeah, I didn't. I totally didn't want it to seem like amateur hour over here. Like, I wanted to make it seem like we knew what we were doing, and I've totally dropped the ball over here.
Well, Speaking of dropping balls, Mr. Justin Time Carter's also here. Justin, how you doing?
Pretty good. I was like, I don't know why Shannon's having computer issues when he's simultaneously running Avast, McAfee, and Spy Sweeper all at the same time.
Well, when you go to the site Shannon goes to, it's best to be protected.
Shannon's like, you bet your ass I'm 18 or older.
And with an intro like that, how could we not introduce our special guest? You've heard the name on the show for many, many weeks now. I have known this gentleman for damn near 20 years virtually, but I think this is the first time we've ever actually spoken face-to-face via video. I am talking about Mr. Mike Miller. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Who the F is this guy?
Yeah, who is this guy? Who's this Mike Miller guy?
That was the best comment. Like, it was 3 weeks or so of the Mike Miller Animal Crossing update, and I got a Facebook message from a listener that was just like,
oh man, amateur hour or what?
Oh, hold on, I gotta write this down. Let's just wait. Just wait for it to come back. Oh, that hasn't happened in like months. I don't think.
Got him good too, mid-sentence.
I know, like
somewhere great with that.
You should leave it in for 4 seconds and then bring it back in. That dramatic tension.
Yeah. Oh man, I guess somebody should text him.
He's like stuck in the Matrix. He's probably like, why aren't they responding?
Yeah, I'm wondering how long he went under that.
Oh.
There he goes.
He's talking about the PS5 event already.
Yeah, right, just rolling through everything.
He's like over on like what we've been playing, and he's like, guys.
Oh man, I love your setup in the back, dude. You like totally like put up a little sign for us. You put got that Bloodstained Symphony of the Night like artwork back there. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, man.
What else? Yeah. What's the? You got the Animal Crossing. What's behind the Pixel Life sign? Is it the? Is it more Animal Crossing?
No, it's like this. I think it was a Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, like little tribute, but it's all like Mario, or it's all Nintendo
style.
Yeah, it's all Nintendo characters doing like track and field events and shit like that. And I don't know, it's pretty cool. Because it's got basically, there's some Sonic and Tails and up in there too. So, but yeah, it's all like, athletic themed or whatever. They're doing like pole vaulting and high jumps and shit.
That's dope.
And then we also got the Ninja Turtles original '90s cartoon box set there.
Nice.
The DK bongos from the GameCube. Got some amiibos back there.
Dude, you're gonna be playing our theme song out. You're gonna give us a bongo outro.
There you go. Yeah, I don't even have a fucking GameCube anymore, man. I just hung on to I was gonna sell these things in this little mom and pop shop by my house. They offered me like $6 for them, and I was like, "Well, fuck you." So
yeah,
because I remember paying like an insane amount of money for like that and like the Donkey Konga deluxe set, whatever the fuck it was.
Mm-hmm. You're like, DK, Donkey Kong is here.
Yeah, dude, I had them all. I had Barrel Blast and the Donkey Konga 1 and 2.
Dude, I remember the commercial for Donkey Konga where it had like Good Charlotte and they're like backstage playing it and stuff. Yeah. And they're all like,
oh my god, classic.
Oh, dude, man. So, Mike, where do you live?
I'm in Dallas.
Oh, Dallas?
Yeah.
Nice. What are you laughing about over there? Like a freaking...
Because Zach in the group chat thing, he's like, Jesus. He's like 2 minutes, and I'm just like, God damn. Like, this struggle's been real today, apparently.
Dude, it's not on the cards today. I don't know what's going on. Oh, man. Yeah.
I was like, quick, Shannon, what Metroid game is that poster from?
Fuck if I know. The first one? The second one? I don't know. Dude, seriously, I haven't played a Metroid game since probably the original for the NES.
Oof.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. The answer was it's the 3DS, the remake of Metroid 2, Return of Samus.
Yep.
Right. You know how I know you're a virgin? Because you know that.
Ouch. Shannon, you know I'm saving myself for marriage, alright?
Yes, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Is that legit?
No. I was like, dude, that's like oh god, what is that? What's it called? Oh, the like Mormon thing where it's like soaking, like as long as you're not moving.
Oh.
It's not a slight against God. Like
it's called soaking? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm like, Shannon like writing that down. He's like something to look up later.
Something to use later.
Yeah. Found that new niche genre to add to your bookmarks.
Yeah, they had that one. It was just like smushing, where it was just like chicks' butts going in like cakes or like random things. Now it's gonna be like soaking. It's gonna be like a whole new genre for me for months.
Oh man, you went through that cake sitting phase.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You get bored after a while. You gotta find something to spice your life.
I don't get that bored.
Shannon's that like one meme where it was like day 14 of quarantine and it was like page 38 of Pornhub.
Started diving in there, like, you know.
Well, I hope that was as fun for everyone else as it was for me.
It was. We were just going through my my Pornhub habits, so you know.
I'm sorry, you guys, but also sorry for Shannon. But okay. Yeah, all of a sudden, it locked up to where like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even close it down. I had to like hard shut off.
Yeah, it was funny because like you were like talking about the message you got from somebody in our Facebook group who Mike Miller was, and like you asked the question and then it like cut out like right at that spot. So it was like everyone was just like waiting for you to come back, and like you never did.
It was like, who is Mike Miller? Tune in next week on Dragon Ball Z.
All right, so should I just do the whole intro again, or should we just pick it up?
You can just like pick it up, like I mean, if you want, and you can just just answer your own question, like because the guy was basically answered, or you dropped the question, who is Mike Miller, and then you just got to go from there.
All right. Okay, so. And yeah, so it was one of those things where it was really funny because I know who Mike Miller is. I've known Mike Miller online forever. We were both cutting our teeth on the Rotten Tomatoes video game forums way back in the early aughts, and we've had many a discussion over the years. And then that when that forum kind of fell by the wayside, everyone migrated over to Facebook, and we kind of kept those wheels turning. And got some good commentary over the years, and so Mike was one of the biggest cheerleaders for Animal Crossing as that game came to pass, and one of the reasons I picked it up along with Justin and Shannon, and I named the segment after him because why not? Mike's an awesome guy, and it was only a matter of time that he was here to join us for these shenanigans. So thanks for joining us, Mike. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, and I almost feel bad being having the Animal Crossing game named after me. So I thought I was like a big fan until I got into the stock exchange and started seeing these other random people's islands, and I'm like, wow, I'm not even worthy. But
yeah, it's always a good experience to visit somebody else's island and just find out how severely lacking your abilities are. It always humbles me. I'm like, oh shit, man, I gotta do something new, terraform my island, start over.
I know, dude. Some of the videos and stuff I've seen online from like people in Japan and stuff where they like have like downtown Tokyo looking like cyberpunk, like 2070. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, mine's like has like ramps and is like still all outdoorsy, and I'm like, I have like a pod.
I think I'm like so cool with my bridges and stuff, and then I go I was at one the other day last week. They had like a full-on arcade like off in this little corner of their island, and I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, I wanted to do. I think the theme that I wanted to go with on mine was I wanted to kind of do like a Godzilla like fighting the robot, like kind of like Ultraman style kind of thing. But like the recipe to make that robot dude sucks, and yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna find enough stuff to actually populate or get creative.
You don't want to make a gold armor, which is like 10 gold nuggets, and then 20 other things that go along with that.
I know, like it's such a deep dark rabbit hole, like because it's just like, oh, one piece of gold armor, and you're like, okay, well, I mean that's got to be like a rare drop, right? And then like you get that recipe, and you're like, god dang it. And then, like, on top of that, you need, like, another 9 gold nuggets just to make the robot. And then you're just like, dude, like, I mean, yeah, I don't want to put that much time into playing this game.
And a rocket, and 30 rusted pieces.
Yeah.
And, like...
Yeah, that robot is insane. The robot's insane. My wife has gotten into completely redoing our island. So now it's all terraforming all the time. Plants, museums, houses, things are flying left and right. It's go time on T-Rexopolis. But
you guys are just you're all the way at the end game, right? So like you could just terraform from like the top down menu, like right? That's kind of what you're doing. So you're just kind of like flubbing around stuff. You're not like having to eat so many prunes that or plums or whatever, so that you're crapping out fruit while you're digging trees up. Like you could just like basically just plant everything where you wanted to.
Yeah. That was a really weird metaphor, but I got what you were saying.
I know.
Sure,
I'm like Shannon's put like 60 hours in it. Doesn't even know the fucking 5 fruits that are in the game.
I still don't have all 5 fruits, dude. I still don't have all 5 fruits. That's all I'm saying. I got like cherries. I got was it peaches? I got pears and apples. That's pretty much all, and coconuts. That's all I got.
That's
See,
it.
we're learning. We're learning, guys. I think Xenoblade, is that the game, Shannon? Xenoblade?
Xenoblade Chronicles, yes.
Yeah, I think that's actually like a 10-hour game for everyone else, just to take Shannon 250.
No, we'll get into that a little bit. All right, stop it.
All right. Okay, well we can.
God damn it.
Ooh, testy today. All right. You know how those Irish are. Anyway, so yeah, it's come to pass. We've been bemoaning it here for weeks. It's been a topic of conversation both on the show and in our chats outside of the show. The fact that Sony has said like absolutely nothing about the PS5, and it's coming here. It's June tomorrow. Like we're moving, and they announced late last week via Twitter that June 4th at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, they're going to do an hour plus of games and gameplay for PS5. And supposedly, not all of them are going to be exclusive, but there are going to be exclusives involved. And it's actually going to show real gameplay, which, after the whole Assassin's Creed Microsoft debacle, could be a little shot across the bow. It has not been confirmed that the console itself or any pricing or any of that nature is going to be unveiled during this event. So are you guys getting fired up for this? Is this seeming real for you now? Oh, and the other thing was the head of Sony this week said they are on time for making the holiday release, and they don't see any issues with the PS5 between now and then as far as getting it onto store shelves and into people's hands. So definitely holiday 2020. They have not confirmed a release date yet, but the games are being made and they're going to be shown. And like I said, the fact that we have seen absolutely nothing or rumors or anything coming from what's going to be an exclusive PS5 game, I'm pretty damned intrigued by this. Mike, you're our guest. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll start off by saying there was about a generation ago where I had a Vita, a 3DS, a Wii U, an Xbox, and a PlayStation, and I have now consolidated to I'm like an Xbox and a Switch guy. But I'm like, Sony, give me a reason, right? Just give me a reason to be interested in this. So I'm actually really excited about tomorrow. But like you said, I mean, we haven't. I don't really know what's going on. I've seen some, a couple of rumors here and there, but there's nothing that's just like drawing me in, right? I mean, as far as what I'd like to see, I'm like, whatever happened to Killzone or Little Big Planet? Like, I would love for them to drop something like that, or there's been this talk about this Silent Hill and Dying Light crossover. Seems like time for a new Silent Hill game. Gran Turismo is another one. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. But at least, like, I know we're probably only going to see games tomorrow, and I know we're probably going to see, like, they're probably going to show Valhalla, and we're probably going to see another Dirt game. And I heard there's like a Watch Dogs game that nobody wants that we're probably going to see.
Hey, I want that. Calm down.
So, but I'd like to know, like, what's in the guts, man. Like, tell me about backwards compatibility, like, just give me something. Because it's like, I mean, it's June. So.
I'm with you. It's go time as far as I'm concerned. But I think if they bring some heat, they could really kind of kill the Xbox before it has a chance to stretch its legs. July is a ways away. Getting a whole month's head start if they drop some really hot exclusives could really shift things. Justin, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, as we know, Xbox kind of botched their last event thing they did with their gameplay and stuff going on, where it was all just animated cutscenes and whatever. So, I mean, right out the gate, Sony's been kind of hanging in the back, just waiting, and I think they took notes watching Microsoft's, and it was like, all right, this is what we're not gonna do, and we're gonna do this, and it's gonna be better. So I think they're gonna bring, some good stuff. I'm hoping to see more on I forget what it's called, the Elder Ring, the new Dark Souls-ish game, the new From Software one. Yeah, I want to see, even though I know that's not coming out until at least next year, but we only got like a brief trailer at the one E3 or whatever when they showed it, so I was like, I actually want to see some gameplay from that, and I've heard some rumors, of them doing a remaster of Demon Souls and stuff, so I mean, I could see that coming out like this year, since it's just
that seems like that could be a launch title, like a Demon Souls remaster, for sure.
Well, I'll tell you, what I want to see is Mark Cerny not being out there like boring us to death. I think they need to have somebody that's got a little bit more like hype to it. I mean, this is going to be what you want people to be paying attention to as far as the product that's coming out for your system. I hope that there's probably a little bit more in-depth gameplay of Valhalla. But my concern is that, I mean, they've touted there's going to be something like 50 games at release for the PlayStation 5. And what I want to make sure is that they're actually like quality, big title games. I remember when the PlayStation 4 came out, in addition to a lot of the backwards compatibility, there wasn't like I keep saying this, there wasn't a lot of, I don't feel there was a big launch window like rollout. They had Resogun and games like that kind of like padded the gaps between like the big titles. Resogun was a great game. Like, I'm not knocking that, but when I think of like console movers and sellers, I'm not thinking Resogun, and I don't want to see a bunch of these small filler games come out when they're doing, what's going to be your shot across the bow at Microsoft. You want to come out throwing those haymakers, not like a whole bunch of small jabs. I know they get the job done, but I want to see what this console is capable of. I want to see what those games are going to look like, how the gameplay is going to function, make sure that the frame rate's going to stay at 60 frames per second when they're running through all, some pretty heavy, commotion on the screen. I would mirror Mike's assumption that there is probably going to be like another Killzone, because they've come out with a Killzone for like every console launch. I mean, that's like a launch game for PlayStation for like every console they've ever had. So I would like to see a Killzone that was better than the last one, because that last one was kind of rough. So
that's a Halo killer. Shannon. Remember that? Killzone, Halo killer.
It is definitely not, but whoever believes that over at Sony, kudos to you guys. But yeah, it'll be. I am speculative, but I'll watch it. I mean, I'm not going to watch the live event because I'll be working, but I will probably just watch the videos of the gameplay trailers that are coming out when I get home. So I'm looking forward to it.
Just because Killzone made me hate the name Rico, I mean, come on. But the I'm guessing that this isn't going to just be launch stuff. Because they've been holding back for a while, so it wouldn't shock me if we got like the Spider-Man sequel, like a trailer for that, even though that obviously wouldn't be until next year sometime, or maybe it's time for a God of War 2 teaser, or something like that. And because they've got not even bullets in the chamber, they've got like rockets that they've got stored back there that they can just fire off. That'll just get people so jazzed that will take over just the entire conversation by just hinting that they exist. I mean, on a smaller scale, shit, look what Nintendo did when they just said, by the way, guys, we're making Breath of the Wild 2. And it's like, everyone knows that shit ain't going to be down for like 3 years. But still, that, like, people are still talking about it right now just because they went like, yeah, we're actually making that. And so Sony has those weapons of those PR machinations. And I think that they could drop it on them, drop it and really kind of tip that table towards them as far as the conversation for the new consoles go.
Yeah, I think if they had like a Horizon Zero Dawn 2, like even just like the title pop up on the screen, I think that's enough to just tip the scales all the way in Sony's favor.
Well, I mean, I think that is a sleeper for a game that could legitimately come out at launch, or at least in the launch window. I mean, that Horizon Zero Dawn was a 2017 game. Like, we were coming up on that shit being 4 years old, real quick. So it wouldn't shock me if they have it. At least, maybe in that traditional Capcom window of February to April, something like that. I'm hyped for more Horizon Zero Dawn. I want that. Give me that. But I don't know, guys. It's one of those things where I'm kind of just feeling excited about it. I know I've not been the biggest Sony proponent on this show over the time, but that's more just because I've been really confused by what the hell they're doing. They've really been kind of going against the normal trend of like how you promote shit, and who knows, maybe they have a plan. I just don't know it, so it's confusing me. And I'm sure, like Justin said earlier or on prior shows, that I'm sure the COVID thing just screwed up all of their plans. Like, they probably had a timeline and everything that they were planning on working from, and then it went, well, throw all that shit out. I don't know. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be exciting, at least, to just have games to talk about. And to Shannon's point, yeah, let's see what this thing can do. Like, what does this look like? Show me some gameplay. Show me things moving. Like, what the hell does that, all this hardware under the hood and the best hard drive that money could buy and all this, like, what does that translate into as far as actual games go? 500 hours of Xenoblade Chronicles is what it translates into. That's oh wait, wrong company. Damn. The most photorealistic Dragon Ball game you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, you're talking to two of us here. I mean, Justin would be on for that, wouldn't you? Justin, don't leave me hanging. I swear to God, don't you dare say no. Don't you dare right now.
I was like, the only difference is Shannon will buy it day one and then never play it.
That joke's only funny once, Justin.
No, it's still pretty funny the second time.
Actually, it's kind of funny every week. Mike, are you a Dragon Ball guy? Is that your style at all?
No, not really. But I mean, if Sony comes out tomorrow and said that they have a Yu-Gi-Oh launch exclusive, like, I'm dropping $5 and I'm going Sony.
Yu-Gi-Oh. All right.
Now you're speaking my language.
To be fair,
man, apparently the host doesn't understand the greatness that is Yu-Gi-Oh.
You would be correct. I do not. Nor do I want to. But to be fair, if they launched, it'd be like PS5, the console home to Magic the Gathering Arena. I'm also in. Like, I'm just like, okay, you got my money. Here we go.
So I speak in my language.
I mean, you would probably dig the Yu-Gi-Oh then, really.
No, see, that's the thing, is I'm terrified of it, because the last thing I want is more CCGs in my life. Like, I'm bad. I'm real bad when it comes to those things. So it's like an addict, like, once you get clean, you just stay clear of the bar. Like, you just, I'm good, guys. I'm going to be over here.
I was going to say, just a peek behind the curtain. Zach was messaging us this week about starter decks for his son to get into on Magic the Gathering. And like, Justin was like, oh yeah, you could probably start with like, a goblin deck, or you could start with like all these quick decks. And it was just like, I was sitting there watching it, and Zach wasn't even like, "Oh yeah, I could go out and get a couple packs. I could do this. I could do that. I could buy that starter pack." No, like Zach was all about like I was thinking in my head. Zach was like, "Yeah, I have like all of those in like boxes in my garage. I'll just go out there and I'll start that deck, and I'll have like 16 decks for him to choose from. Like no money, no investment, no nothing. You got it all."
Oh yeah.
You're not wrong.
I was like, with all the old cards Zach has, dude, you could probably build a busted ass mono green elf deck. You have like Arbor Elf and like all the shit that's like banned and stuff.
Oh yeah, we could do that. But yeah, no, it's time for the boy to learn some magic. It's time. He's learned to read and can do basic math. It's time. We're doing this. So moving on from Sony, the other bit of news I came across, guys, it's happening, and Mike's got the shirt on. Sonic 2 in the works. We're doing it.
What?
The original writer and director are back. They have not confirmed a release window, or that they haven't confirmed that all the original cast is coming back, but it's pretty much a assured thing that at least Marsden and Carrie are in. And so is this now the most successful video game live action movie of all time? Sonic? Did they do it?
I would say yes. I mean, like the closest one that I would say was Detective Pikachu was all right, but like I watched it again this weekend, and I did not like that movie. It did not have a rewatchable like element to it that I liked. Sonic, at least, it has enough comedy and lightheartedness to it to make it want to be rewatched. So I would say yes. I mean, bring it on, like that. I would be interested to see what they do with Tails in the second movie.
Mike, your review of Sonic?
Oh no.
Okay, so look, I was very appreciative of movies like this when my kid was dragging me to this stuff, like these watchable movies that are really made for kids. But my kid is 22 now, so I'm not. And I mean, you're talking to a guy that, dude, I saw Shark Boy and Lava Girl in the theater. So I mean, I've seen some bad ones, but I was interested in seeing this Sonic from day one, and just because I knew it couldn't get as bad as like the Super Mario Brothers movie or something like that. Sure. And it was, look, and it's not a bad movie. I wouldn't have walked out in the theater on it. I was able to finish it. I wasn't pissed about spending the $2 or $3 it cost me to rent it. Jim Carrey was fantastic. And look, it made $1 gazillion, so we knew we were going to get a second one, right? But I'm not like sitting on the edge of my seat, like I can't wait until this comes out, right? I mean, it was okay,
So you're not counting your coins, going or stacking your gold rings, waiting to get back from the theater.
And I'm thinking, as much as I love Jim Carrey and all the things that he's done over the years, and I'm sure he'd be great in a second one, but I mean, do they start incorporating Tails and some of that stuff that they did in the games? And let's keep in mind, and not to say that this is the destiny of the film franchise, but there was some really, really bad Sonic games after they kind of had their run of really great ones. I mean, some of like that one on 360 was just god awful, right? So I mean, hopefully they don't get too carried away with the movie franchise and let it start going in that direction.
Yeah, hopefully we don't have to deal with a Shadow the Hedgehog at some point. You know, if Big the Cat's involved, just say no. Just cut bait and run.
The internet will tell them. I mean, the internet will let them know when they send out that preview. Like they're gonna be like, "Hey, it worked for the first one. Let's poo-poo on the second one until they fix it."
Yeah, they've got it in the budget now that they're just gonna, leak out. Shannon. Yeah, they've got it. Shannon with the spit take.
Yep.
They've got it in the budget now. They're just gonna release it early and fix everything everyone hates because it worked the first time. So in my house, I still haven't seen it, even though Mr. Platinum himself donated it to me a few weeks ago. Because when I tried to watch it last night, that fucking Kung Fu Panda got me again. Like my kids are like, no, there's 2 more Kung Fu. My son is wily enough to Google, and he was like, no, there's 2 more Kung Fu Panda movies. Like we need to see the rest of them. So can we get on that? It's like, son of a bitch, fucking Panda.
You're like, damn,
Jack
dude, stop
Black.
learning how to read.
I know Jack Black's got me, man. It's just I can't get away. It's awful. All right, well, enough of that. Enough of my problems with Jack Black and large pandas. Let's hear from Justin, who did some research for us about the Wholesome Direct that happened on May 26th, and a lot of indie games got announced. So, Justin, why don't you break it down for us?
Yeah, no, it was really good. It was really well done. And like I was saying before we started the podcast and stuff, with everything that's going on right now and there not really being a lot of events and stuff like that or directs and stuff to showcase indie games at, it's cool that a sort of like third party and stuff kind of picked up the mantle to try and do something, to advertise some of these like there were some, bigger ones that we've heard of before and stuff. Like they brought up Ooblets, which apparently is still, I guess they're going to have their beta on the Epic Store and the Xbox One soon. It didn't have a date, but that's one I've been looking forward to where it's like a mix between like Animal Crossing, Pokemon, and I guess kind of like I don't know, I guess like a Rune Factory or kind of like Harvest Moon kind of vibe and stuff. You garden and you grow little vegetable people and they follow you around and it's all cute and stuff and you can customize your character and I think you do battle and stuff. I mean, most of the trailers involve the little vegetable people dancing, so it's hard to really tell.
All right, I mean that sounds good though. I mean, I like vegetable people dancing.
Yeah, no, oh, that's what I was trying to not like it reminds me a lot of Viva Pinata too. Because you're like, growing stuff and new people. So, yep, that's what I was trying to. I was like, Zach's kid would probably go ape shit over. He said, we gotta get the mushroom people.
Exactly. I'm in. Viva Pinata, I'm in.
But yeah, that one was really good. And then they also showed stuff like Skatebird, which I'm kind of interested to see now that, Tony, they've been working on that. And then, they're bringing back Tony Hawk 1 and 2. Which Skatebird was heavily influenced on, except, your birds. So I'm kind of interested to see if they're going to, like, add some kind of, like, what they're going to necessarily add to kind of separate it from the fact that, Tony Hawk is coming back, So that's going to be good. And then one that we were talking about, too, Little Witch in the Woods looks really good. And it's
That game has, like, a Super Nintendo top-down kind of Link to the Past type vibe to it, look wise, but the gameplay on it looks really cool. Like, I don't know if you want to expand more on it. I don't really know much about it, so.
Yeah, just from the trailer I saw, I mean, it looked very much like, kind of like a Link to the Past and stuff, but it has a very heavy emphasis on like a potion sort of crafting system. And there's monsters and stuff in the world, but you're not so much fighting them as it's like you're having to like make potions to use on them to basically like acquire ingredients from them to make new potions. And it's like weird potions. Like there was like they showed like a kind of like a sleepy time potion. And then there was like one where I think it like made you itchy or like something. Like it was like really like you could tell that they were having fun with it. Like it wasn't just like like maximum strength and whatever. It was like kind of cute, like little weird stuff that you're trying to run around and do, and it showed you like interacting with like some interesting characters and stuff, and running around through like the woods and picking up little cute creatures and like shaking them around and stuff. So
now the other one that was another one that was mentioned there was Monsters Expedition. Do you
Yeah.
know anything about that? Because that seemed like a kind of a crazy little puzzle game, and it looked pretty neat, but I don't know anything about it. Like is it on Steam currently? Is that?
It's not out yet. It's supposed to come
Okay.
out, I think, like end of this year, I think.
Okay.
But the person making it, he's made a lot of other indie games. One of the ones which this game heavily resembles is called A Good Snowman is Hard to Build.
Okay.
And it's kind of in the same vein where, so with a Monsters Expedition, you're this little black monster dude, and you're basically on little islands, and it's almost like Steven's Sausage Roller, or since it's made by Good Monsters, it's like individual, almost kind of one-screen puzzles where you're moving logs around and like trying to basically like get to the exit by like manipulating stuff on this little island to make a path or whatever get out. And that's kind of what A Good Snowman Hard to Build is you're a monster and there's like the three pieces of the snowman, the bottom, the middle, and the top, and you're basically rolling those pieces around on a single screen kind of puzzle trying to build the snowman in order to get up to the next level. So I'm excited, but it looks gorgeous, like the graphics wise and stuff.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of kind of like what they did with like Bit Trip Runner and stuff, where it kind of made that jump from 2D into this like really kind of pretty 3D, 2.5D sort of style and stuff, which is really cool. One of the other ones that stood out to me was Chicory, A Colorful Tale. I don't know if you saw it. It's made by the same team and stuff that worked on Wander Song, which came out on stuff that's like Greg and his team and stuff. And the whole premise is you're basically this dog with a paintbrush, which what's funny is before they came up with the name Chicory, the game, like the working name for the game was called Draw Dog. But
I think I might like Draw Dog better.
Yeah, you have this little paintbrush thing. It's like, mouse and keyboard, and it's like you are the whole world looks like a coloring book, and you kind of like have to color stuff, and like there's puzzles that revolve around like coloring certain things and like doing stuff, and it looks really cool and has kind of like the little underlying like story and stuff to it that you're going around, like the paintbrush belonged to your master and stuff, and you kind of pick up the mantle and you're trying to like revive color back into the world and stuff. So it looks like it's gonna be a cute little game.
Sweet. Yeah, and I just like that they're doing it, that they have something that kind of is, a professional outlet looking like a Nintendo Direct or like the Sony State of Plays or whatever, and it's a good window for people much like yourself, independent designers that don't have like this backing of a network behind them traditionally to get because there's a lot of games that made this list that we were talking about right now that I know I literally would have never heard of unless they came out and were like underground hits,
Right.
So it's good to see. I like it. Cool stuff. Well, thank you for that. And I think the time has come, gentlemen. If we, I know we did a little up the top, but Mike, since you're here, how about you talk a little about some Animal Crossing? It's the Mike Miller Animal Crossing Minute, so let's do it.
All right, yeah. We got it's kind of good timing because we got June 1st is the beginning of wedding season in Animal Crossing in the Northern Hemisphere. So that's where we will be celebrating the matrimony of Cyrus and Reese.
All right.
So from what I understand, Cyrus and Reese are getting married and they want to take their wedding photos, which will be happening on Harv's Island. And you will be able to help them out. And, in return for your help, you will get wedding-based or wedding-themed furniture, clothing, and all that kind of good stuff. So,
okay.
So my guess is, and I hate to bring it up, but maybe similar to kind of the Easter thing that we had a little while back.
We don't discuss Zipper around here.
Yeah.
We don't say that name.
The cool thing about this, though, that I read was that so everything's going to take place on Harv's Island, and you'll go there and you'll actually get all of your your little prizes or what have you on Harv's Island, and then you can actually use Dodo to ship them back to your island. So
Oh,
I
that's
know if you've been to like Tarantula Island or whatever, and you've had to like leave your your fishing net or whatever other crap you're holding just so you can get more tarantulas to bring back. Like you won't have to do that for this particular little thing that they're doing. So that's kind of cool. And if you guys, my guess is that if you, for the Pocket Camp fans out there, they have done the wedding season before, and it's actually it's actually not as lame as it sounds. I mean, there's actually some pretty cool stuff, and so if you're into doing little themes on your island and stuff, you can probably after this set up a wedding, and that'd be cool. Other
and
thing.
I like that they've come up, with a reason to go to Harv's Island, because I'm sure everyone did what I did, which is go there once and go like, huh, all right, and leave and never come back.
Yeah, dude. I so in the very beginning, I went there and I did all the stuff that you could do on Harv's Island, and I even had like some of the amiibo cards from an old Animal Crossing that allowed me to get this cool poster made of that character while I was on Harv's Island. But I mean, other than that, there isn't really much to do. Like it was cool when you showed up. It's like, oh, this cool hippie guy, and then, but I haven't been there since. So I guess I'm excited to go back and see what's going on with Harv. Yeah, the other thing, and this I don't think will happen on the 1st, but Flick is gonna make a reappearance, and sometime in June will be the beginning of his summer bug off event. And that is, for those of you guys that have done like the fishing tourney, it's basically that, but with bugs. So, you'll be able to get, golden bug plaques to put on your wall and all that cool stuff. So,
and June 1st is also the update for new fish and bugs.
Right.
So there'll be cool new stuff to catch at least. And sharks, which, believe me, I've heard multiple times from a child. Sharks are coming June 1st. So
yeah, and if you and I know you talked about this last week, but for those of you that have experienced the turnip exchange and go into these islands who have done time traveling and all that stuff and been able to see, like I'm playing the game legit, so I've only been able to like see this stuff on other people's islands, but people have already got the sharks and all that stuff like in their museums, and so I'm pretty excited to start adding some of that to my collection as well.
Shannon, are you excited about the sharks and the wedding season and all this, or do we need to explain? Do I need to explain to you how a shovel works? Like,
no, I know how a shovel works. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Shannon uses the shovel to plant his plum trees.
They're kumquats, Justin.
I don't understand why they're not growing on the beach. So yeah, so I just wanted to make sure. Do I have to go to Harv's Island to start the whole like marriage thing, like quest line, or is like the raccoon dude gonna like tell me let's like what I have to do? Like, is that going to be like
for those of you that aren't watching this on YouTube, Shannon is visibly killing Justin right now. Like it's
well, Mike too. Mike just put his. I mean, he face palmed over there for a second.
Yeah. It was hard to not, but
I was just the wheels are turning up here. I was like raccoon dude. Oh, okay. He's talking about Tom Nook. I got it.
Yeah, so like I mean, I just want to make sure I'm not going to miss my opportunity, and like because I've been really kind of let down with their little events. Like I mean, even with Blathers' is like a little stamp party or whatever the hell he was doing in the museum. Like I thought that was gonna like lead up to something, and you just get the same stupid plaques over and over again. Like
yeah,
I kind of do want something a little bit more of substance, and to catch sharks that would be super cool because I've been trying to catch that. I've been trying to catch the tuna for a long time, and I have been unsuccessful so far. So
I think you've been unsuccessful because tunas haven't been available in the month of May. So that might be.
Oh well, you know.
Just I'm spitballing. Who knows? But anyway,
I thought they were already out, dude. Oh,
they were, and then they went away.
Oh, damn. All right.
But no, now it's giant trevallies and mahi mahis instead of marlins and tunas.
Damn it. All right.
So, have you gotten either one of those?
No.
No. All right. Well,
I've been terraforming my island right now. Like I said, I've just been getting trees out of the way so I can see my island, so I can put more people there. And then, I went heavy back into turnips again this week because my girlfriend's island was selling them for super cheap. So I bought like 1 million in turnips. So I hope I can strike it big this week.
There you go. Just making it rain.
Speaking of rain, one of the things that you can do when you want to catch fish is when it's raining on your island, like that's the time to really hit the fishing. Because you'll generally get better fish, and you still get the every fifth fish is still probably going to be a sea bass, but definitely get better results when it's raining.
Okay, I'll have to do it. That's the other problem is most of my fishing is done at night because that's the only time I can really play. Does that affect my chances of catching certain types of fish as well?
I don't know, man. I'm usually spending my nights collecting tarantulas or shooting down star pieces or. And to be fair, man, this kind of started with Pocket Camp for me. Like I really dislike fishing just in general. Like I'm not a fan. The other thing is like, and this isn't like it can't be done, but I can't do it well. I can't without sound. Like I'm not good at fishing. Like I'm not good.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is 40-year-old eyes, man. I can't see it dunk in the water. It's like I gotta have sound. So, and I play Animal Crossing a lot when, I'm watching Netflix or something like that. So it's like I gotta go back and forth with the sound, and so I'm not big on fish. Like I'll hit it hard when something new comes out, so I can catch the new fish, and then I'm kind of done unless there's like a reason to do it after that.
Are you playing on? So you're playing in handheld mode, or are you playing on a Switch Lite?
I'm in handheld mode, just on a regular Switch.
So, do you have vibration turned on? Because like the bobbing, the vibration will intensify when it actually pulls into the water.
Yeah, and it's again, maybe it's because I'm old and the reflexes just aren't there, man. But like I can literally like not even look at the screen and just close my eyes and get the sound, and I get them every time. But for whatever reason, like the vision and the vibration, I'm not good at it. And the other thing is, and I know you had talked about this on a previous show, like when I cast my line out there, like I don't want to have to do that like 5 times because the stupid fish is like looking the other direction, or sometimes they'll bolt off in the opposite direction, and then I got to move my guy and then cast again, and I'm just like, that's not fun to me at all. So
and then right when you cast again, they turn back around.
Yeah, I'm like, that was one thing. Like I hated the fishing so much in Pocket Camp. But the one thing that was like, it was so easy to do because you're actually like tapping with your finger. So you just tap like right on the fish, and like you can almost drop a perfect cast like every time. And then started doing it on here, and it's like, oh my God, this is even worse.
It's funny that you mentioned the sound thing because my wife will play without the sound on and do fishing and all this, and I swear it's like serial killer behavior. It's one of those things like, what are you doing? Like this. What type of insanity is this? You putting ketchup on pancakes next? Like, what's going on here? Like, it's like Jesus, it's the worst. Justin, are you hyped for June update? Is this going to pull you back in?
I mean, I've been playing. I always like when there's new stuff up. I mean, like when the museum stamp thing came around, I did it the first time, and then when Blathers is like, oh, hey, did you know every day he's like, oh, hey, did you know? And I'm like, shut the fuck up and assess my fossils. Like, I don't care. You told me last week about this. You told me the day before. I'm like, I get it. It's the same prices. You don't need to tell me every day until the end of May. I get it.
That's funny.
Do any of you guys ever, like, when you're assessing a new fossil and he wants to tell you about it, do any of you guys ever listen to him, or do you just skip through that?
just skip through it. Like most of the time, most of the time I'll just be like, don't waste my time. I don't care. The only time
I was just trying to figure out does anybody do that? Because I'm like I'm just burning right past it. Like I don't care.
Yeah, the only time I'll make him explain anything is when it's a bug, just because I know he hates it.
Just because you like watching him freak out.
Just I like making him sad when I say yes. I just like seeing that look on his face, like shit. All right.
Like, yeah, you're gonna punish that owl for opening a world-class museum on your island for free. Like, yeah.
I know.
You picked the wrong island. You picked the wrong island, owl. Jeez.
But yeah, besides that, on my island the other day, my villager Mo moved away, which I didn't care. He's one of the two villagers where I was like he's like, I'm thinking about, I'm like, cool, leave. Like, I don't care. I'm like, you are second to the bottom on my list of villagers. I'm like, so I don't care. Pack up your house, get out. I was like, I'll find someone better to move in.
You're like, here, can I give you some boxes? Pack your shit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, like when I went in, like, oh god, why am I spacing on her name? Isabel, there we go. She was like, yeah, today's Mo's last day, so make sure. I'm like, he's still not gone? I'm like, I thought for sure, like, I was like, what is this, like a 2-day event? Like, I was like, couldn't believe I'm like, a whole nother day. I'm like, god damn, like, I got prospects lining up for that house, and he's over here slowly putting his socks away, like, are you sure I want to go? And I'm like,
he's like walking out the door, and he's like turning back around, like, what? Did you say something? No.
Yeah.
No.
Like at the airport, like, did I leave my wallet at home? I'm like, here's a Nook Miles ticket. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, I don't care.
I don't know if you know this, but I'm a billionaire. Here's a whole bunch of money. I don't care if you forgot your wallet. Get out of here.
There's 4,000 bells and a coconut, bro. Fuck off. Like, I don't care.
Man, Mo, R.I.P. Jeez.
Yeah.
It's a good thing he got off that island because he's getting buried here. Mike, who's your least favorite villager? Who's the worst?
I pretty much quickly started getting rid of mine, and like any time that they would say, hey, I'm thinking about leaving, I'm kind of taking same thing that Justin does. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And I had all these cards, like I was telling you from the other game. And,
that's right. You got all that stuff.
Yeah. So, dude, I got like Stitches and Pietro, and I got everybody that I want. So I'm like,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm trying to keep them all there, and but yeah, all the ones that I just got that like showed up at my campsite, I'm like, these guys are stupid. I don't even really want them to stay.
Yeah, right now I'm trying to excise Sid the elephant from my. He's just like this dumpy elephant that just like walks around at night and hates on shit, and not like in a fun way. It's just like, dude, just fucking if you're this unhappy, leave. And he's just like, haha, no, I'm just gonna tell you how much everything sucks. It's like, fuck, man.
That's when you go to Isabel, dude. Just tell her, like, dude, I don't like this dude. Get him out of here.
Like, you're living on a 5-star island, you elephant trunk having motherfucker. Like, get the hell out of here. Like,
what you got against elephants?
It's like 10:30 p.m. and he's in the plaza dragging his ass across the ground like a dog.
Basically, like, it's like you can find him just like littering the beaches at midnight. It's like fucking Sid.
Yeah, they got like that slow, depressing music. Like when you talk to him, it's like the same tune as everybody else's, but it's like just this miserable sound.
It's like a sad tuba instead,
Yeah.
Fucking Charlie Brown's teacher talking in the background. I hate Sid. I don't know if it's come through. I don't know if you guys figured that out. I hate Sid.
I think you were sugarcoating it a little too much.
But no, Melba the koala that like my whole family loved left for some reason. Like my kids showered her with presents and she still was like, yeah, deuces, I'm out. And it's like, nah, I'm stuck with fucking Sid.
Yeah, I had one. It was this guy Rodney, and I don't even know what animal he was, but
That's a good start.
he was like, he was always hitting me up, and then he gave me some lame nickname, and then it was like he would not stop calling me that nickname. So I'm like, yeah, that's reason enough, man. Like you're out, dude.
Like, yep, no, I can't take being told, being called touchdown one more time. So you're out of here. Get to stepping. Oh, I guess we can move on to what we've actually also been playing, like for realsies. So I picked up Minecraft Dungeons. Does anyone else pick that up this week? Anyone?
I did.
Anyone?
I did.
All right. What are your thoughts, Shannon? Because I'm into it. I like it.
Yeah, it's not, I wasn't expecting to appreciate this game, but for $20, the price was right to jump in and give it a try. And everybody
you're playing on Switch, right?
I am playing on the Switch. And
okay.
Is there crossplay between the Switch and the Microsoft?
I don't think so.
Damn. But because the one thing I've noticed is it is like a Diablo game. There is loot, there is, the abilities. It's got that like 3/4 view where like you're just kind of running around a map, trying to clear things out. What I've noticed is it's a little bit more challenging, and it's not as fluid. Like, with Diablo, there was like a cohesive story, and like you had like your town as your central hub, but like you were always like the progression seemed pretty seamless. Like if you switched areas, it was because the story was progressing and you were following like your caravan or the story. Like with this one, it just kind of seems like you have a central hub, which is like your campground, and then like you select like each story mission, and they're all kind of scattered about like all over the place. So it doesn't really seem as well put together as like a Diablo game, but it still has those elements that I like. The other thing that I noticed is it seems to be a little bit more challenging than like a Diablo game. So
a little, like holy shit, the last two worlds in that. Well, we'll get to there, but go ahead.
Yeah, like I mean, and it's very easy. Like once it opens up and it's like, hey, you can go over here. There's like 5 different areas you can go to, and they're like, yeah, just go whatever one you want to go to, just go there. And like if you pick the wrong one, like you can get overrun like really, really fast. Like there are some where you're just like, maybe I should have somebody else here playing with me. Like I should be like bringing some co-op elements to this. It seems like they really want you to play this game in a multiplayer setting. It's not really. I feel like they don't. Like you're going to miss out on something if you're not playing multiplayer. Like you can go through it single player. It's just going to be a lot harder. You're going to have to grind a little bit more. You're going to have to replay some of the same stages. But you'll still have a good experience with it. I feel, they really kind of want you to go find people to play with in this game. I mean, is that the impression that you get?
Yeah, it's definitely a game built for multiplayer. It in that way, it reminds me a little bit of Borderlands, where you absolutely can play it single player. It just all of a sudden becomes hard as hell. So I'm playing with my son, and we're having a really great experience with it. And even with 2 players, there are moments where it's like you die a lot. And what was it? The never named the necromancer, and then the castle that happens after the necromancer kicked the shit out of us. Like we had to play the desert temple where the necromancer is maybe 7 times before we beat it. And the good thing about it is it has a little like that roguelike sprinkled in where you're always leveling up. Like you're always getting new gear, you're always leveling up. So you are getting stronger, and you can see it. And I mean, I'm sure part of it is I'm playing this game with a 6-year-old who, forgets that arrows exist or enchantments exist half the time. So if I was playing with another seasoned gamer, I should say, that it would work. But that being said, this game is completely accessible to a 6-year-old. Like he's playing through it with me just fine. Like it's, like I said, his hangups come when he forgets that like the button other than the main attack button exists. But he's navigating the maps just fine. He can work his way through just fine. But that carrot on a stick of constantly progressing is keeping him engaged, which I find interesting because, I'm dealing with a child and I'm expecting childish meltdowns when you die horrifically over and over and over again. And he's like, oh, but we got this weapon. Oh, but I got this glaive. Oh, but I got this arrow. And it's like, okay, it's keeping him in there. It's pulling him forward. And you keep getting a little further. We'll play it again. And now we got to that next room. Or we'll play it again. And oh, we made it all the way to the necromancer, but died. And then it's like, okay, but we made it to the second wave of the necromancer, but then we died. And finally we broke through. And it's fun in that regard. But holy shit, that game gets like really hard. Like in an almost unfair way, because the first 3 worlds, I don't think we died more than once. Like we were just cruising through, just slice, 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 slice. And I was of the mindset at the time of like, oh, this is a game probably. I mean, I'm playing it, but it feels like it's designed for children. I'm playing with a child and he's having a great time. And so, yeah, it's too easy, but like, what are you going to do? It looks like I could crank the difficulty up if I want to, but this is obviously the way the kids are supposed to play. And all of a sudden that recommended difficulty is hard as balls. It's like, what the hell happened? and it's literally from one world to the next. Like there's no ramp up. It's like, oh, great, you beat this one level. Here, welcome to the desert temple. Prepare to die all the time. Just all the time.
Yeah,
and then when you get to the Illager castle at the end, fuck, forget it. Like, it's like, holy shit. But
yeah, I think I went into like the first level of that desert temple with like 80 arrows and like, I was just stocked. I'm like, yeah, this will be fine. And I get in there, and I must have gone through 80 arrows in like the first room, and I was like, "Well, shit, there goes all my range attack. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do now." So, I got wiped pretty hard that time. But yeah, I mean, it is. I do see that carrot on the stick with the gear. It is pretty cool. Your town or your campsite setup. You have, because I wondered what those green gems were for. Like, what kind of currency, how they're going to interact. Or how they're going to kind of keep you going with this in-game currency. You get your random drops per level if you just keep giving them to the armorer. So, I've gotten some pretty good gear there. But, usually, I mean, it still follows like the Diablo aspect where like the gear you get in your playthroughs is better than the gear you're ever going to buy in the shop. Sure. So I think they're going to have to find something to do with that currency because I'm not spending it on anything. I would like to see what tweaks they make on the game coming down the pipeline. See what they do to support it.
I mean, and yes, it's a $20 game, but I find it kind of dirty that right on the map screen, it's like, oh, select your mission. By the way, huge update coming for this game soon that you're going to have to buy. And it's like, that seems a little gross.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. That being said, if it's a decent update, I'll probably pick it up because I'm having a lot of fun with it. And it's a great Diablo type game. It really is. And it's way better than I expected it to be. Like, it really is. Is it the best game I've ever? No, it's not. But it's a lot of fun to play with other people in the room, especially when one of them is a 6-year-old that just loves running his mouth, talking a whole bunch of mess. It's really good times. And it's a good challenge after a while. Like, they could do a lot more with the loot. There seems to be way too much repeating loot or loot that pops for, if you're a level 15, you're getting level 12 stuff. Like, that sucks, I also would just like a little more just variety in it. It's like, you get in modes where you get a cutlass and then you get like 4 cutlasses, or you get like a hammer and then it's like 5 hammers in a row. And it's like, okay, can we just make that algorithm a little different? Can we change this up a little? But outside of that, I mean, for what it is, I think it's great. I think it's way better than I expected it to be. So I've been very happy with it. The other game I wanted to talk about real quick, and then I will get out of the way, is that Apple Arcade game. Shannon, I still have Apple Arcade.
What?
You know that? Yeah.
I think I do too, but because I forgot to get rid of it.
Oh no, that's absolutely what it is. And I was going through my stuff, going like, shit, I still have Apple Arcade. I haven't canceled this yet, and found this game called Over the Alps, and it's really cool. It's more of an interactive story than it is a game. Essentially, you find a stack of postcards, and the postcards tell the story of a English spy trying to infiltrate Italy and get out through Zurich before World War II breaks out. And you get newspapers that clip it, but the story is getting told on postcards, and you select options as the story's going through stamps. Like different colored stamps on the postcard mean different things. Like one's more aggressive, more gentleman, catty, romantic, like whatever the options are. This is a stamp you put on, and the story progresses based on your decision. And it's a quick playthrough. It's like 2.5 hours, but it's a real fun story. Even though you're supposed to be this like crazy English spy that doesn't seem to know what mission he's on, which is weird. But it's a fun tale of just like that time in European history and as the backdrop, and you're dealing with German spies and Italian scientists and engineers and trying to escape before the Nazis take over that part of the world. And it's a cool story. It moves real fast, and I would, if you have Apple Arcade, pick it up, because you can get through it in probably 3-4 hours, maybe 2. I don't know if you know what the hell you're doing, but it was great. So I recommend it. Over the Alps. And I will go ahead and get the hell out of the way. Mike, what have you been playing?
Well, so my routine of gaming kind of consists of a lot of Call of Duty. I've logged like 800 hours into that game, so I play a lot of Warzone. So that's kind of part of my daily routine. I'm pretty excited about. We got the season 4 update is coming Tuesday, so I've been trying to finish everything, all the little missions, everything from season 3.
Getting your reflexes down, doing your stretches, getting ready.
Yeah. But the other 2 games in my routine are obviously Animal Crossing, and I won't get into that too much. I mean, I'm kind of like, I was hitting it really hard when it first came out, and now I'm kind of in that. I go through, collect my fossils, and do turnips on Sunday and all of that. So it's a pretty short time that I spend on that every day. And then I am working through the campaign on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Switch game, which I already finished twice on Steam, and twice once on Xbox 360 and then once on Xbox One. So I'm just working to build my deck and stuff on there.
Good Lord, man.
But I did this week. There was a game that dropped, I guess it was last Tuesday, that I thought looked really interesting, and it is called Maneater. And
tell me about that.
Yeah, so this game it's definitely unique. It's told from this like reality show point of view, hosted by this shark hunter named Scaly Pete. And like, this dude is awesome, right? Like, he's like Call of the Wild Man meets Tiger King meets Dog the Bounty Hunter. And he's got like this really heavy like Cajun draw, and like, I don't know if you remember the Leatherhead from the old Ninja Turtles cartoon. He kind of sounds like that, right? And like, every time he says something like really crazy and you can't understand him, they'll like throw a hashtag on him. Like, he says this like one time he says looks like his mama and them, and like, you can't even understand what he's saying. Like, so they throw like this hashtag up on the corner of the screen, like, so it's like you're watching this reality show, right? But you actually play as the shark, and it starts you off with like, it kind of introduces you to the reality show, but then it dumps you into like a tutorial. And the tutorial, you're like this big badass shark, and you go around, and like, anything you see, like any sea life that you see, or humans or anything, like, you can eat them like no problem, right? But once the tutorial is up, you end up running into to Scaly Pete, and he actually, like, it's one of those like those battles like at the end of a tutorial that you can't win, like what was that in like in Castlevania when you hit Dracula like right off the bat, like in the I think it was
Yeah.
Bloodlines, and there's like you have no chance, right? So it's kind of one of those, and he catches you and kills you. Then he hangs you up, he guts you, and finds out that you're actually pregnant. So he rips out the baby out of the your stomach, and then that baby goes and it like chews off his arm, and so he like slices like a mark on him so that he's like he says something like, you know, this is so I can remember you when I catch you when you're all grown up or whatever. And then he throws you back out into the water. And so that baby shark is who you play as. So that is like essentially your character like when you actually start the game.
I love that they did the Zelda like we're gonna show you all the powers and then take them all away from you thing with a shark. Like I love that. That's so good.
And it's like the drop off is freaking dramatic as hell. Like you go from this badass shark that can like just gnaw through anything to this little baby that like you can't do shit. And like you like all you can eat is like little minnows and stuff. And it's like it's basically from that point it's kind of like an RPG, and you level up basically by eating proteins or they call them nutrients. So like you eat like little fish and turtles and stuff like that, and that will like level up your character. And then it's kind of like it's almost like an Assassin's Creed kind of game. Like they've got like little sandbox missions like all over the place, and there's not really there's kind of a main storyline, but it's more like really focused on those missions. And they have like mini bosses, which are like these shark hunters that are out there, and like you go and like, or I guess those might be considered like actual bosses, because there's also like a mission to go defeat an alligator, and that's kind of like a mini boss. Like you can't do it like right off the bat. You have to like build your shark up by completing other missions and eating nutrients, and then going and eating bigger fish. And like you'll run into like barracudas, and they're like if you go after them like as a baby, or like if you go after an alligator, like you're gonna get wrecked. Like you have to like go around and try to get those nutrients to build up your shark. And so there's a little bit of grinding to it. But I mean, I'm like a few hours in, and basically like you start as a baby, and then you go to teen, and then you go to adult, and then I don't know what it progresses after that, but I'm like kind of at the ending of being a teen. Like I'm like a big teen, I guess. So whatever the next step is, like I should hit that like the next time I play. They have like Tony Hawk VHS tape things that you have to collect, but they're license plates that like fell off cars and into the water or whatever. And then they have like these little loot boxes that are like full of nutrients and stuff like that. So like it's fun. I mean the load times are pretty freaking awful, honestly, like at the beginning, but once you get the game going, it's pretty good. And the cameras are decent enough mostly, but like it's kind of easy that if you get caught up under like a pier, or there's like certain like swamps and stuff and that you can get caught in. And a lot of times I've noticed like the camera is a little wonky, like when you get into those, but for the most part, it's pretty good. I guess the only real complaint that I have is that, I bought this like day one, so I dropped $49.99 on it, and this just screams of like a Steam sale game.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I was gonna say this says holiday sale written all over it.
Yeah. Like I mean, dude, if you like this Steam winter sale, I guarantee you this thing is probably going to be like $12.99 or something like that. Oh, and the other thing is like, I'm not really sure where the story is going, and I'm like when I play an RPG that has like a lot of side quests, like I get bored with them pretty quick, and I'll kind of just focus on that main story, and it doesn't really feel like that is in this game. It feels like you're doing like a lot of side quests, and like that's the game. So I don't know how long this is going to keep my attention for, but it definitely is fun, and it is one of the most unique games that I've ever played. So I'm not recommending it, but
I don't know. Like I'm kind of with you that this sounds rad. Like, yeah, sure. It sounds kind of like a train wreck, but like a beautiful train wreck in a way. Like I'm a shark, and I get to do all this like crazy shit from other games and still be a shark and eat stuff. Like,
Well,
it
yeah,
sounds all right.
that's the thing. Like, and these games that have these side quests that are like kind of annoying. Like, I was like really big into the No More Heroes games,
Mm-hmm.
but they had like a lot of these side quests that were like they were pretty annoying, honestly. And I got really tired of doing them. And they weren't necessary to complete the game. And you're playing on Nintendo, so it's not like there's achievements or anything to go do it through.
Sure.
So, but if you could like whatever game that is to you, if you could do that as a freaking shark, like that's pretty awesome. And so
And
I have a lot of fun just going because like dude, some of the side missions are like you go to this island bar and it's like your objective is to eat 10 humans and
mm,
like just listening to the commentary of the humans as they're running away or getting eaten by you like when you're like you've got half their body in your mouth and they're still screaming like little corny lines and stuff like it's pretty awesome.
and it's like if the trailer's any indication, like it's pretty gory, right? Like
I mean, as I mentioned in the 5 minutes into the game, this guy is gutting a
yeah.
pregnant shark and you know carving up the baby that he pulls out of it. So yeah, it definitely it can get pretty gory at times, man. And I mean, like your main objective as far as like the bosses or the mini bosses go, or you're trying to kill shark hunters and it's like you're basically like trying to knock them off jet skis and stuff and meanwhile they're like trying to like shoot these laser sighted harpoons at you and
Mm.
it's pretty gory and graphically it's pretty good so it's you can definitely see some of that gore in some of the events that you do.
It's a wonderful miasma of shark and body parts. I'm with it. I'm here for it. We can do this. Shannon, you gonna play Maneater? Maybe when the sun's away, or
I think so. It sounds like a game that a lot of people are enjoying, and I definitely would like to partake in eating some humans as a shark.
it's funny. I could see your face when Mike was talking about it. I'm like, oh, Shannon's awake. He's paying attention. This is this sounds like his kind of game right here.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be it seems like it's one of those like time sinks for me. I'll just pop that in and just swim around and eat shit for like 45 minutes.
Right.
That'd be awesome.
I'm picturing it. I'm already picturing it as my like go to bed game, which sounds hilarious. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna go eat 10 people at a swim up bar before I knock out for the night. But that's I love it. Yeah, that's now on my list of wait for a sale to happen. Justin, have you been back into Ritual of the Night? Are you finally through it and with the DLC, or what is happening there?
Yes. So I beat Ritual of the Night for the third time and unlocked.
And then they said you got to beat it a fourth time if you really want to play it, just to prove that you really can.
And then I was like, uninstall. But no, it was I beat it the third time and unlocked randomizer mode and then unlocked I forget what the fuck his name is, but the dude who has Zangetsu, you unlock him as a playable character. And I started a new campaign playing as him, and it's interesting because it's like when you start the game, he has double jump already. And so it's like in the opening ship part and stuff, you can access the entire ship, which normally you can't because you need double jump to like, so you'd have to go back later to get into certain sections and stuff. So, but his moves are weird because it's like in order to perform, he has like, I don't know, maybe like 6 like different moves or so like he could do. Like he has like a normal sort of side slash and then like the R trigger button thing is like a vertical slash, and I'm like, all right, that's kind of weird that one's a trigger and one's a button, but whatever. And then it's like to do all his other moves, you have to do like some Street Fighter, like it's like left, down, Y, and like whatever to do is, and I'm like, all right, I fucking hate that, but all right, we'll roll with it. And it's weird though because like the one like R trigger button switches because like in the game and stuff, like when you fight him, he has like where he'll run his hand across it, and then it's like lightning attribute and fire attribute and like a frost attribute, and you can do that. And I tested it out on all sorts of different enemies, even like water enemies. When I'm in the water, I'm like, oh, dude, the electrical attribute will probably do more damage against them. No, like his normal sword seems to do like 30 more damage than any of the other elements. I'm like, why switch it all then when just the normal sword is like still the strongest? Like, so that didn't make any sense.
Going to our conversation last week, why is this even in the game?
I'm just
like the blood draining one. It's like, why did you even do this?
Yeah, so I'm kind of like, I don't understand the design choice for that, but so I like kind of took a break from playing that, and then I started Ni No Kuni and got through the whole opening part, and then like went to the woods and got my first the little derpy looking familiar dude with hair and the sword and stuff, and went through like the fighting tutorial for that and stuff. So I got to there, and then I stopped because then this new game came out. I mean, it's been out on Steam for like a little bit, but it just came out on consoles, I think on like the 28th. And it's one of my contenders for my game of the year. And I highly recommend Shannon plays it, since he last week bitched about having a shitty Paper Mario experience. And this is the best Paper Mario I feel like we're ever going to get. And it's called Bug Fables, the Everlasting Sapling. And it's straight, it is, and it does a little bit more, but it is legitimately Paper Mario 64. It is basically brand new Paper Mario 64. Everything is paper. You play as bugs in like the Bug Kingdom and stuff, and your party starts out as this like horned beetle and a bumblebee, and then eventually you unlock a moth. And so it's like a party of 3, and it's literally Paper Mario battle system. You walk into houses and everything kind of folds open or out or down. And even when you like your inventory's full and you have to discard an item, like you like let go of the item and it kind of bounces away like sporadically and stuff. Like it is like they studied Paper Mario and were like, we're gonna do this. And it works. It works because they do it so well, and because there hasn't been a legitimate Paper Mario since Thousand Year Door, in my opinion, that it's been long enough and they do it well enough that it's like, and they add their own little tweaks and stuff to where it's like, it's obviously copying it, but they also do it a little bit more. So it's like, it's not like they're just ripping off Paper Mario. It's like they're kind of putting their own additional spin on it, which I enjoy, because it's like you have the 3-party mechanic and stuff where there's 3 of you. And it's like when you're in the overworld, the horned beetle thing can cut down like tall like stalks of grass and stuff to get into certain places and stuff. The bee has a boomerang, and you can like stun enemies with it and stuff, which you can like throw it at someone, stun them, and then run up to them real quick and initiate the battle, and that gives you a double attack advantage and stuff when you start the battle. Just like jumping on enemies in Paper Mario would and stuff, you get that additional damage at the beginning of combat. And the moth freezes things with ice, and you can freeze enemies into a block cube and like with the beetle push them around and use it in puzzles and stuff. And then there's parts where water's dripping down, and or there will be like a waterfall or geyser or something, you'll freeze it, and so you use his ability for kind of puzzle solving. Or if you're like, I want to run past this guy real quick, you can just freeze the enemy and then like keep going and stuff. So it adds like a little bit of additional like overworld mechanic stuff, which is kind of like what Thousand Year Door did with the paper mechanics and stuff, but they kind of added their twist to it by making it abilities kind of like Mario and Luigi style and stuff, with the lightning and fire and stuff. So it's really cool, and I enjoy. I'm in like the 2nd chapter, and I mean, it's like, it is. I can't stress how much, like, if you love Paper Mario, you're gonna love it. And it's,
how much was it?
It's like on Steam it's $20, but because on like Switch and console and stuff, I think it's 25. So it's a good price point. And I mean, I looked up and there's, I think, 7 chapters, but it's like each chapter takes you, like, people were saying that like if you kind of take your time, there's a ton of side quests and stuff to do. Like, people were saying they put in, like, 30, 40 hours and stuff. And I'm like, dude, I'm down for that. Like, I like to run around. I already have, like, 10 side quests that I'm like, and you can stack side quests, which I like, because I hate fucking games where it's like, oh, no, you're already working on a quest. Do you want to trade? And I'm like, no, just give me them all, and I'll work on them. And so it's like, I keep running to the board, and I'm like, oh, here's one. So I have, like, 10 or 12 of them simultaneously, like, kind of, I'm like, if I get stuff for it, I get stuff for it. If not, I'll come back to it later and try and do it. But yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I like that Fallout style too, of just like, no, give me the entire quest board just all at once. Just give it all to me. Let me go out into the world. We'll knock them out.
It's that like Skyrim thing where you're like, where's this destination? And you're like going down the list like, like what am I looking at?
Yeah, I would be a lot more interested in this if the new Paper Mario wasn't coming out, to be honest. Because
I agree with you, but unlike the new Paper Mario, I have no guarantee that it's going to be good. Whereas this, whereas this, it's like they took something that is good and works and put their own. So they're like, hey, you like Paper Mario? This is literally Paper Mario, but with bugs. And I'm like, yeah, and it's good. Where with the new one, it's like, I haven't seen enough of like the new rotation battle system, but it's like, it's kind of like, a lot of people liked Fractured But Whole or not Fractured But Whole, god damn it, the first one, Stick of Truth. Yeah, because Stick of Truth was basically, they basically took the Paper Mario formula and the battle system, whatever, and, it was dope. And then when they switched to the Fire Emblem style, grid, people kind of got turned off by that because they're like, well, we like the simpler battle system and stuff and didn't really care too much for the new one.
Shannon just liked the underwear gnome sequence. That's what he was all about.
Watching your dad's nads fly around.
Watch out for that low hanging bridge.
Oh Jesus! I was one of those, like, as I'm playing that sequence, I'm like, well, here's something I'll never forget, and not in a good way.
Dude, even when you're like going through the abortion clinic and stuff, and the final boss for that, I was like, oh my god, like.
Yeah, that's one of those things you look back now and like, I can't believe they actually made that, like that, and that game sold enough to get a sequel. Like, Jesus Christ. But I'm really excited for the new Paper Mario, but I'm scared that it's gonna suck. I'm kind of with you, Justin, in that. Like, like you, I've been hurt before. We've gone through this once before. Well, I don't know, Justin, Mike, if you've got a pillow handy or you've got something, because Shannon's about to talk about some Xenoblade, a remaster of a game he's put 500 hours into before and now has bought again. So Shannon, please regale us.
Okay, so look, the game I put a crap ton of hours in, that was Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This is just Xenoblade Chronicles, like the definitive edition. So this is basically just a remastering of the game that I believe was on the Wii U, that I never played before. So, after the
so you actually haven't played this one before?
No, I've never played this game before. So I just
I now will give you less crap.
So
if you just bought a definitive version of a game you played already and like sunk 100 hours into it, I'd be like, bro,
no, I've never played this game before. So I wanted to go back and of course play it, since I've had so much fun playing the second one in in this universe. So I will tell you, I'll keep it short, because it's basically the same mishmash of recipes to make a cohesive game. A lot of the critiques of the game have been, it's still at like 720p. It's not at any type of ultra high def. Like the UI is cluttered. There's a lot of unnecessary things there. Which I get those complaints, but if you look at Xenoblade Chronicles 2 compared to like this one, like there's just as much stuff. It's just placed differently. And if anything, I would say the map in the second game is worse than the map in the first game. And as far as like everything that's on your HUD, like I can see how on this a particular version of the game, it can be rather annoying because at the bottom you have your main attack, and then on your left you have basically all of your attack spots, like for your special abilities, and then on the right you're going to have all your support buffs. So you could see, I mean, it goes all the way across your screen. So like there's going to be like 10 or, more like options for you to choose as far as techniques that you can use, and 10 or more for your support buffs. So that can be kind of daunting because like the only way to really kind of go through those when you're battling is to move your analog stick around and kind of see what the name of each one is, or if you've memorized what each attack ability is, you can just go to the picture. So that
is that rough in handheld mode though?
No, I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2 primarily in handheld mode, and I actually found it frustrating when I went into docked mode because they had some problems with timing as far as like there was like some lag between using the Pro controllers and the timing that you needed to perform some of the moves on screen.
Oh, weird. Okay.
So I stayed in handheld mode the majority of the time. The voice acting made it so I didn't really have to read. The text can be a bit small at times in handheld mode, but I feel they did a pretty good job just remastering this for the newer consoles. I've only put about like 5 to 7 hours into this game, so I've barely scratched the surface on it. I've just made it through like the prologue and gone through some of their early story points. But it's more the same. If you like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you're going to like the definitive edition and the touch-ups that they made to it. I'm pretty sure I'll have more for you as I get through it. But, I'm just trying to get used to, just to see what the tweaks were compared to the first to the second. The auto battle functionality is nice because you don't have to worry about attacking while you're looking at your special attacks or positioning your character. As long as you're in range of the monster and you're targeted to that monster, it's going to attack that monster for you. You just have to position the guy where you want him. I mean, that's basically all you're doing is just moving the joystick around. So he's, if he's more of like a person who attacks from the back, that you can position him behind the monster while the other person pulls all the aggro. So, that's what I got right now. It's definitely a good purchase. It's definitely going to scratch that itch. If you like side quests, this game has 9,135 side quests. So if I wanted to go deep into this game, I could probably go more than 300 hours. The stunned silence.
Good Lord, man. Well, no, it's my daughter is screaming in the background from your admission of side quests and hours. I don't think she can stand it. It's crazy. But is that all you've been putting your time into this week?
Yeah, just the Minecraft Dungeons and Xenoblade Chronicles. That's it.
Okay, gotcha. Well, does anyone have anything else to add? Because I think we are at the end, gentlemen. I think we have done it.
I do. All right. I watched Bumblebee, the movie, this week, just because I was bored and my son wanted to watch something with a yellow car in it, and I guess that's what he meant. I'll have to say, out of most of the Transformer movies, it was one of the most enjoyable, but John Cena's acting sucks. Like, he is like the worst in this. He drags the whole movie down. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. It's a good movie, except for John Cena.
I have given up on the Transformers movies after the second one, when the big combiner comes together and starts ripping the pyramid apart, and they gave him testicles from 2 wrecking balls swinging between his legs, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm done. Here. I think we've hit what I want to get out of the Transformers movies. I don't need to see any more. So yeah, I missed the Wahlberg experiment. I missed Bumblebee, all that stuff. So,
well, I'll tell you, it's like an origin story for Bumblebee, like why he winds up on Earth, prior to the first Transformers movie, why he can't talk, like why he doesn't remember anything. Like, it answers all those questions. If you wanted to know, not that that's a burning question for anybody on this podcast, but it does fill some some questions that you might have had if you watched the original Transformers movie that was made in 2007 in like 2020 and wanted to go back and watch something else.
Yeah. Finally, Mike, you can have all of your Bumblebee questions answered. I know you've been staying awake at night wondering why the hell can't that one Transformer talk. Here, you finally have the answers.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of put those movies in the same realm as like the newer Ninja Turtles movies. Like I watch them, and you know they're cool for what they are, but you know they are what they are.
It's funny that you say Ninja Turtles because it's kind of the same thing. The Ninja Turtles, the Transformers, and even Star Wars to a certain extent, I hit a point where like, oh, these aren't being made for me anymore. Like I know I was the kid that grew up with them, but like I grew up and these are still being made for like kids, and it's okay for me to just let that go. Like, yeah, it's not the same Transformers, it's not the same Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I'm not 8 either. So it's all right. You know, like it's okay.
Well, and remember the first Ninja Turtles movie? Like, I mean, I was pretty young when that came out, but I mean, that thing was pretty freaking dark. I mean, compared to like the corny stuff that they're doing today. Like, you know, it's Ninja Turtles, so it was for kids, but you know, it was nothing like what we're seeing today.
Well, I mean, Transformers movie, Optimus Prime dies. You know, it's like.
Dude, in that G.I. Joe movie, like what was it? Like that dude gets a snake in the chest in like the first like 2 minutes of that movie. You're just like, what? He can't be dead.
You know what? We should totally do like a mixer watch party of the G.I. Joe movie, because that movie is like hilariously bad. Like it's so awful, but like amazingly bad. You know, just the whole Cobra Law stuff. Cobra Commander actually turning into a snake. It's so great.
I was so pumped for it too, man. Like I mean, I saw it in the theater, and like that and the A-Team. Like I was like, I can't wait for these movies. And then it was like I saw them, and I'm like,
I was so let down. Oh man, I forgot they made that A-Team movie. I forgot that existed until like right now. Holy crap.
Pretty easy to forget, man. I mean,
yeah. I mean, to be fair. Well, then they made the second G.I. Joe movie with Bruce Willis. Remember that?
Yeah.
That train wreck? Oh. And they had a Super Bowl commercial for that movie, and it looked so goddamn amazing. I remember like texting my friends being like, who saw that commercial? We are going. Tickets day one. This looks like the best movie I've ever seen. And, oh, man.
Didn't learn my lesson from the first one.
Yeah. Mistakes were made, Mike. Mistakes were made.
A movie so bad, Channing Tatum was like, "Just kill me in the first 5 minutes, please. Like, I don't want to. I don't want to be in this anymore."
Kurt Russell me in this movie, like the executive decision. You know, just to get me out of here. Throw me out the back of the plane. I'm good. Yeah. Whew. See, Justin's young enough. See, me, Mike, and Shannon are all in the same. Yeah, probably within 18 months of each other age-wise. Justin's young enough that he missed this whole curve. Like he's that Power Rangers generation, you know, like Ninja Turtles was already out of the zeitgeist by the time he came around. So
well, and see that. So like when you're talking G.I. Joe and stuff, I didn't really play with G.I. Joe or necessarily grow. That was like definitely before my time, but I still have all my Ninja Turtles. So I was a huge Ninja Turtle fan as a kid. And I saw the original, and like when you're talking about the original movie, like being darker, like, yeah, dude, they fucking collected like homeless children and like built an army underground of kids. Like, and like Casey Jones was like genuinely scary. Like if you saw some guy in a Jason Voorhees mask in the alleyway with like a golf bag full of like 16 like random beating utensils, I'd be scared of them too. Like,
I like the term beating utensils instead of eating utensils. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, it's like one was like a hockey stick. He had like a fucking like Negan bat and shit like in his bag. Like.
That was the way it should have been though. Like, I mean, do you guys remember Casey Jones in the cartoon? Like, he was like freaking Dirty Harry, like total badass. Like,
oh yeah.
Like he came out like, and he had the great one-liners in the first movie. Like, it was this classic, man.
Well, yeah, and
And
he's
then
like hitting on April the entire time, and then in the new one they gave it to Stephen Amell, who's like the clean cut, like cover GQ, and I'm like, why? Like,
they're like, that's not Casey
Yeah,
Jones. What are you doing?
yeah, it's not
But
Casey Jones at all, man. It's
yeah, no.
like I want to see the class is pain 101. Your instructor's Casey Jones. Like, give me that guy all day.
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves as John Wick in the alley. Like,
Yeah, John Wick is closer to Casey Jones than anything else, actually, in the modern parlance, I think. But the and also like the original movies had like sick choreography. The Ernie Reyes Jr. and the whole thing was doing the fight sequences and all that stuff. Like it was legit. Granted,
Well, okay,
the costumes were terrifying. The costumes were terrible.
The first one was dark. The first one was legit. But let's not forget the secret of the ooze, beating up people with yo-yos, and the Vanilla Ice cameo.
The ninja rap. Yes. I think we all remember.
Yes, and the hostess like pies that came out with the ooze like in the the ooze filling. You remember those? I got sick on those.
If they still made those, I would still buy them. I love those fucking.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I ate so many of those. Like oh man, they were great.
Oh, dude, you guys remember the Ninja Turtles cereal? That was my jam.
Yeah. It was like Chex mixed with Lucky Charms.
Yeah,
they were like
it was.
Yeah.
But it had turtles on the front, man.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a marketing grab.
If we're talking cereals, I'm old enough to remember the Nintendo cereal system or whatever it was with the two bags inside.
Man. Yeah, the two mini bags. It was terrible tasting too.
So bad.
It was like they took like the nastiest flavored tricks and like made them into these little characters that they tried to pretend were Zelda and Mario and sold it and probably sold a gazillion boxes.
Oh yeah, because idiots like me begged their moms to buy it for them. Like, you have to give me this awful cereal that I'm gonna pretend to like for no reason.
Dude, I forced myself to eat that stuff. I don't. It doesn't even make sense. Like I begging my mom to get it, and it's like somewhere in the back of my head, like I knew as I'm eating this crap at 7 a.m. watching the Super Mario Brothers Super Show that this stuff tastes like shit. But the next week we'd be at the grocery store and be begging for it again.
Yeah, because Lou Albano will know, damn it, if I'm not eating it. So Captain Lou. That was a weird tangent, but yeah, that was fun. Now you got me going with like the morning cartoons. Like that's when I would watch DuckTales and like James Bond Jr. and all that stuff. Like I love that shit.
Oh yeah, what's up with some Captain N, man? Remember that?
Oh yeah, Captain N. Excuse me, princess, and all that. Yeah. And
like they made that weird one that had like it had like a cartoon version of like Jordan and Gretzky and
the All Stars. It was the All Stars or something like that. Yeah, Bo Jackson and
that's
all
right.
that.
Bo Jackson was the other one. Yeah,
it was awesome. There was the MC Hammer cartoon.
Oh god,
where he had with the magic shoes. I remember that one. See what you missed, Justin. Just man, you're just born too late. You missed out on all these kids.
I've seen the Zelda animated series, and I would not use the word "missing out" to describe it. I own it on DVD. I paid like $30 at Suncoast Video for that I'm never gonna get back.
No, ever. Yeah, I like your Office Space. I wouldn't say I'm missing it, Bob.
Yeah.
That was Fridays only, though. If you guys remember that, it was like that was a during the week cartoon in the mornings, or the show live animated / cartoon. But it was like Mario Monday through Thursday, and then it was like Zelda with the cliffhanger. You had to wait a whole week to see what was going to happen.
Yeah. I had totally forgotten that, but you're right. Yeah, man, 80s were weird. You guys.
Do you guys remember a show called Video Power in the 80s? You remember that?
No.
Video Power? No, I don't remember that one.
Dude, it was this bizarre freaking game show where these kids would come on and they would like do like little things, kind of like a Double Dare, like but playing video games. But then at the end, they would put on these full like Velcro jumpsuits, and they would get to go through this little mall, and there were like Nintendo games and Power Gloves and NES Advantage and like all the coolest stuff at the time, but it had like Velcro on it. So as much shit as you could attach to your suit and go down this slide at the end of the mall, you got to keep and take home. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Just like the dream of being able to go through that mall in an ugly, I mean, and the whole suit was Velcro. It wasn't like strips. Like the whole fucking thing was made out of Velcro. And you just tagged on like copies of Maniac Mansion and whatever other those million 8-bit games that they had.
I guess a Sega Master System swinging between your legs. Like, yeah, I got this.
Yeah, if you could hold it or you could get it attached to your vest, like it was yours at the end of the show.
Like when they used to televise the kid that would win the Toys R Us shopping spree or whatever. Yeah. And he had like 10 minutes to grab whatever he wanted. And I'm sitting there at home just like, I couldn't, like racking my brain. Like I'm running and pulling every tag of every video game. Because
you're like screaming at the kid for like going down the wrong aisle.
No, that's where the Barbies are. Didn't you scout this? Like, didn't you do your homework? Oh, man. I missed that shit, though. That was good stuff.
Oh, has anybody been watching that show Tag on Fox?
No, I have not.
It's like an American Gladiator episode or like a segment of an American Gladiator episode that went on for far too long. Like that's all it basically is. Yeah. I mean, how do you make Tag interesting?
I saw the commercials and I felt like I saw the show.
You did. Yeah.
No, dude, I've been out, man. Like I started this thing like when the whole quarantine thing started, where I was like, I made this decision that I am going to watch the entire MCU, all the movies, all the shows, and I saw most of the movies. There was a couple that I missed here and there, but I was like, I'm gonna watch the whole freaking thing, and I didn't realize like how tall of an order that is to do, man. Like, I mean, this is like, it's got to be like thousands of hours. So like, I found this website that gives like the chronological order to watch this in, and I'm about 2/3 of the way through, but like, I'm sitting here at the end of season 1 of Luke Cage, and I'm staring down the barrel of Iron Fist, and I'm just like, I don't know if I can do this, man.
It's rough. That's hard.
I have heard from multiple people with Iron Fist, it's just block off the time and burn through it. Like, it's just one of those, like, just get through it and move on because it's not good, but you just need to work through it. I have not watched it myself. I'm kind of enough people told me it sucks that I believe them. I'm like, yeah, you guys are right.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, and I didn't really get into the shows at all. I was kind of just into the movies, and I kind of wish I had gotten more into the shows, so some of them are actually pretty decent.
Yeah, Luke Cage was great. I like Luke Cage a lot.
Yeah. But since we got Mike on the show, I need to talk Masked Singer, dude. Like, what's up with that last season, dude? The turtle got robbed. I mean, that was just a shame, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest, man. We start getting into Sarah Palin doing the rap thing. I'm like, I would have gone a different direction with the show, man. Like, I really loved the first season. Like, I thought it did good, and I was like, and you called it, man. You called T-Pain, and I was like, dude, is it for real? And I was like, what was so cool about that one is that I didn't even know he could blow like that. Like, all I knew was T-Pain, like the auto-tune guy.
Auto-tune, yeah.
Yeah, and that dude can actually sing, and like all of a sudden I'm like going into these rabbit holes of like I'm watching T-Pain do these like rock and roll covers, and like that dude's a badass, and I'm like was so pumped for season 2, and man, yeah, I'm still dredging through it, man, but I don't have the love for it like I did season 1.
Yeah, it's understandable. Like the whole like 3 different groups kind of detracted from, I think, a lot of the fun of it. Like, it kind of segmented everybody out. And so like the weak people in each group got, I mean, like, I don't think they really did an accurate representation of getting rid of some of the weak, the BS people in the beginning, So, so I would like to see them change the format if they're going to bring the show back. Like, it would be interesting to see like how many more iterations of the show there can be, like how many more, like, people want to be on the show that can keep their mouth shut and actually have talent enough to be on the show, or don't have enough talent, and can make an ass out of themselves for a little bit. But yeah, I think the turtle got robbed. I think it was a little bit of a they fell for the sob story more than like her overall performances through the whole show.
Well, also, can we talk about how Kitty got knocked out before Rhino? Like, that's BS.
Oh, dude, I know, right?
Yeah. Or how freaking White Tiger made it to like the
final.
And I'm like,
yeah, I do. Come on.
I was like, this guy has been awful. Like, his first performance was awful. Like, he should have been the first one off. And it's like, I don't know.
I mean, or you have like it's the Masked Singer, and you have Bow Wow who's rapping the whole time through like the whole freaking show, and everybody's just like, yeah, keep him going. I was like, dude, no, like he's a one-trick pony here.
Yeah, that was my thing. Like with the rap, like it's the Masked Singer, and I'm not. I love rap music, man. But I mean, like the Hip Hop Hooray and the what was Bow Wow's Bad Boy for Life. And you got Jesse McCartney over here just blowing out of control. It's just, I don't know. That kind of been my whole thing with the that direction. Like, just love rap music, man, but just let's get some people that can sing and some people that can't sing but are really trying. I mean, hey, they did Young MC, the Bust a Move. Like,
Bust a Move.
I mean, can we get any more of a cliche like rap song to put on there? That and Baby Got Back, like what just can't deal.
Yeah. Hey, when it comes to Bust a Move, no one does a better cover than my wife when we're in the car. When that song comes on, let me tell you, she will break that song down for you. It's insane. But to your point, Shannon, I'm with you. I think they need to do more seasons but less contestants. Like, cap it at like 8 people and just move, and then another, like, instead of having all these groups, that should be 2 seasons worth of people. And I think it makes it a lot more interesting and moves a lot faster. But yeah, it's still a fun
probably show. Less Right Said Fred, Rob Gronkowski performances.
Yeah.
It's cool to have those in there at the beginning, but
I mean, those were painful, and especially when he like forgets half the words,
or he was running out
multiple times. Yeah,
I mean, there were a couple times where he didn't even.
Aren't you a professional athlete? Like,
well, not only that, it's not that hard of a song to remember the lyrics to, man. Like, it's it's not freaking it's not freaking Bob Dylan and deep Jimi Hendrix cuts or anything, man. It's freaking Right Said Fred, dude.
Yeah. We're not doing a 10-minute long Fiona Apple song over here, It's like, come on. But I think that's all the show we've got for this week. Justin had to dip out a little early, so that's why you haven't heard from him for a few minutes. But at this point, I'm going to say to Mike, thank you for joining us. This was awesome.
Thank you for having me, man. I had a blast with you guys tonight. It was awesome.
Oh, cool, man. Yeah, but let me know when you want to come on again. This was really fun.
Yeah, sure.
And hopefully we'll have our tech working next time, because who knows. But I will go ahead and throw it to Shannon for the outro. Shannon.
Well, I mean, usually this is the time where I'll tell you to go to our Facebook group and leave us a nice 5-star review wherever you download our podcast. Also, I like to give Justin a bad time about negative space. Justin.
Yeah, hey man, I was looking forward to this part of the show so much because I was looking for the release date on Negative Space. So, Justin, what do you got, buddy?
Just gonna have to wait another week again.
Justin, Justin. Okay. Anyway, Mike, why don't you tell the listeners where we can follow you at?
So I'm on pretty much all the standard social media outlets, your Twitters and your Instagrams. Also, all the, PSN, Xbox Live, Steam, using the handle Kid Kengi. That is Kangie. And for you Ninja Turtle fans out there, you know what that's a reference to. But yeah, that's where you can find me on pretty much anything.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for being on the show. It was a pleasure having you, talking all things Animal Crossing. And Zach, what would Robbie usually say about this time?
Robbie, right about now, would say, "Hey guys, be great."
Justin? Justin?
Justin?
Negative space 2020? Anytime? Justin. All right.
The text thread when he hears this episode is going to be great.
It'll be awesome. It'll be so worth it.
I'm looking forward to it already.